Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, and George Soros. How a Marxist would destabilize a country from the inside to usher in a Marxist regime. Marxist ideology, rooted in the theories of Karl Marx, focuses on class struggle and the overthrow of capitalist systems in favor of socialist or communist regimes. While Marx himself envisioned a global revolution where the working class would rise up against the capitalist bourgeoisie, history has shown that Marxism can also infiltrate and destabilize nations from within through more subversive means. This article examines how a Marxist movement, using the blueprint of Marxist-Leninist revolutions, might seek to destroy a country from the inside, paving the way for a Marxist regime. 1. Divide and conquer, exploiting social and economic fault lines. Marxists often begin by exacerbating existing social, racial, and economic divisions within a country. By heightening class antagonisms and fueling resentment, they can push a society to the brink of unrest. This is accomplished through several strategies. Class warfare. A Marxist movement would relentlessly push a narrative that the wealthy elite, the bourgeoisie, are oppressing the working class, the proletariat. They would demonize the wealthy corporations and anyone benefiting from free market capitalism, framing them as enemies of the people. By doing so, they aim to foster a deep-seated resentment that can lead to widespread social unrest. Racial and cultural tensions. Marxism in the modern era often goes hand in hand with cultural Marxism, which leverages identity politics. By amplifying racial and cultural grievances, a Marxist agenda can further divide society, making it easier to destabilize institutions. Constantly framing society in terms of oppressors and oppressed creates a culture of victimhood that weakens national unity. Economic crises. While Marxist theory traditionally relies on a capitalist crisis, such as an economic depression, to spark revolution, in practice, a Marxist movement can exacerbate economic problems through policies that cripple industry, discourage investment, and burden businesses with excessive regulation. This would result in higher unemployment, lower wages, and economic stagnation, all of which can be blamed on the failures of capitalism, preparing the masses to embrace Marxist solutions. 2. Undermine institutions. Erosion of trust in the system. To pave the way for a Marxist takeover, the movement must first erode trust in the existing institutions of government, law, media, and even religion. Discredit the government. Marxists would seek to expose and amplify the perceived failures of the current government. This includes highlighting corruption, inefficiency, and any policies that seem out of touch with the needs of the working class. By framing the government as a puppet of the capitalist elite, they aim to delegitimize it in the eyes of the public. Co-opt the media and academia. Marxists know that control of information is crucial. They would work to infiltrate media organizations, framing news coverage to promote class struggle narratives while censoring or marginalizing opposing viewpoints. Similarly, Marxists would infiltrate educational institutions to indoctrinate young people with Marxist ideas, ensuring future generations are primed for revolution. Weaken law and order. A Marxist agenda might also focus on undermining law enforcement and the judiciary, painting police forces and courts as tools of oppression used by the elite to keep the working class in check. This could involve encouraging protests, civil disobedience, and even riots, while calling for defunding or dismantling the police under the guise of social justice. 3. Cultural subversion. Attack the core values. Marxism is not just an economic theory, it is a cultural one. To facilitate the destruction of a country from within, Marxists would attack its core values, especially those tied to religion, family, and patriotism. Dismantle the family unit. Marxists have long understood the importance of family in maintaining societal stability. A Marxist movement would push for policies that weaken traditional family structures, such as the promotion of state-controlled education and the devaluation of parental authority. By encouraging dependency on the state rather than the family, Marxists can further erode the bonds that hold society together. Attack religion. Religion has historically been one of the greatest obstacles to Marxist regimes, as it provides an alternative moral and ethical framework outside of the state. A Marxist movement might subtly undermine religion by promoting secularism, attacking religious institutions, and framing religious beliefs as outdated or oppressive. Redefine patriotism. Patriotism and national pride stand in direct opposition to international Marxist movements, which aim for global class solidarity rather than national unity. To destroy a country from within, Marxists would attack patriotic symbols, rewrite national history to highlight injustices, and cast the country's past as a narrative of oppression rather than progress. 4. Incremental socialism. The Trojan horse. While Marxism traditionally advocates for a violent overthrow of capitalism, modern Marxists often take a more gradual approach, pushing for incremental socialism as a stepping stone. This could manifest in several ways. Expanding welfare programs. By advocating for universal health care, guaranteed income, and other expansive welfare programs, Marxists can increase the population's dependency on the state. Over time, this would undermine the free market and shift power away from private enterprise to the government, weakening the capitalist system. Nationalization of key industries. Another common tactic is the push for nationalization. By bringing major industries such as energy, healthcare, or transportation under state control, Marxists can gain direct control over the economy. The more industries are nationalized, the weaker capitalism becomes. Destroying property rights. Marxism is fundamentally about the abolition of private property. To achieve this, a Marxist movement might push for heavy taxation, wealth redistribution, and policies that erode the concept of private ownership. In time, the state would assume control of most assets, paving the way for a communist society where the people, i.e., the state, own everything. 5. Crisis exploitation. Never let a good crisis go to waste. Finally, Marxists would look to exploit any crisis, economic, social, or political, to advance their agenda. Whether it's a financial collapse, a pandemic, or a civil rights movement, a Marxist movement would frame the crisis as proof that the current system is broken and that Marxist solutions are necessary to prevent further suffering. By offering radical solutions during times of instability, Marxists can position themselves as the only viable alternative, using the crisis to accelerate the collapse of the existing order. Conclusion. The playbook for Marxist subversion is clear. Divide the people, undermine institutions, attack core values, promote incremental socialism, and exploit crises. Each of these strategies is designed to weaken a nation from within, creating a vacuum of power that Marxist ideologues can fill. While the methods may vary, depending on the country and context, the end goal remains the same: the dismantling of capitalism and the establishment of a Marxist regime. Understanding these tactics is crucial for those who wish to defend against them and preserve the institutions of freedom and democracy.